In this portion of the coaching session, which is about the raised hit and dangerous play, the coach mixes nonsense with common sense, in the hope, I suppose, that both will be accepted as common sense.
There's another area that we've really improved over recent years. If you hit a ball hard, it's going to leave the ground.
This is nonsense.
Sometimes it's going to come at shin height, sometimes knee height, sometimes thigh height, sometimes chest height. And you can hit it there without actually undercutting it. You're not allowed to undercut, but there's a vast difference between hitting a ball hard and coming off the turf and undercutting it.
Flat along the ground is a basic skill. If a ball is not undercut and not hit down onto to achieve rebound force, it will not rise of its own accord.
Directly at me and hits me, that's dangerous, right? That's obvious, nobody would dispute that. That's dangerous. I'll get a free hit. Ball's coming at me like a rocket, I have to take evasive action, that's dangerous. Those are the two clearest examples of danger. There are other instances, for example, where we've got a group of players where it might not be going specifically to one person, but if it's going into the crowd there, you penalise it straight away before it even reaches them.
Yes, raising the ball towards other players is often dangerous play. It will always be dangerous play if done from within 5 metres of the player. Raising the ball towards a group of players may be either directly dangerous to one or more of them or lead to dangerous play. But the penalising of a dangerously raised ball is not consistent, as we shall see. Far from no one would argue with that, there is a great deal of, often irrational, argument about what should and should not be considered to be a dangerously played ball.
But by penalising a ball off the ground solely on the basis of danger, once again we've taken a huge amount of whistleblowing out of the game.
Applying Rule 9.9 only when a raised hit actually endangers another player does not just take the whistle out of the game, it takes a substantial and important part of the rule out of the game. The rule is based on intention. It possibly should not be, but that is another matter. Nobody but the FIH Rules Committee can make amendment to a rule. Tournament directors, umpire managers or umpire coaches simply do not have the authority to change rule interpretation. Nor, I should add, following recent amendments made by the Dutch National Association, do any national associations have this authority. The statement by Jan Hadfield that no one would argue that a ball raised at another player was dangerous play was a bit disingenuous, because argument rages constantly about shots at the goal that are raised at other players. The shot at the goal was not mentioned at all in this part of the coaching session. Here the Spanish player takes evasive action as soon as he realises that the ball may be raised at him. This is legitimate evasive action to avoid the possibility of injury, and defines a dangerously played ball, Rule 9H. The ball is raised at an opponent who is within 5 metres. This is a dangerous play, Rule 9.9. The shot is made wide of the goal. This is completely irrelevant. It has no bearing whatsoever on whether or not a shot at the goal may be dangerous to other players. Some would argue that the shot at goal in the previous clip was dangerous because it was off target. Are we to suppose that it would not be dangerous to the player positioned a few metres inside the circle who took evasive action if it had been on target? That is clearly a nonsense, unless one follows the irrational belief that players in the path of a raised shot at the goal accept the risk that they will be hit by an illegal, dangerously played shot. But no player is obliged to accept risk of injury from any illegal action taken by an opponent. This shot raised with a reverse edge hit is clearly dangerous. The defender on the line takes evasive action. and that evasive action was legitimate because if not taken, that defender could have been badly injured or even killed. I believe, firstly, that the criteria intentionally used to penalise a raised hit that is not a shot at the goal should be replaced by an absolute height limit on a raised hit made in the areas outside the opponent's circle. I propose shoulder height provided the ball is not propelled towards another player. Secondly, when a ball is propelled towards another player with any stroke from beyond 5 metres, even when taking a shot at the goal, the stroke must be considered dangerous play if the ball is raised to sternum height or above, approximately 120 centimetres for senior men. An elasticated tape fitted to a goal as a height guide for umpires and useful as a practical guide for those propelling edge hits and drag flicks towards the goal is a simple and cheap installation. Due to the successful introduction of the low drag flick shot, which I think must be credited to Rick Charlesworth, the head-high drag flick is not the widespread problem it once was, but it has not yet gone away and defenders still need rule protection from it. That scoop stroke was irresponsible and caused evasive action. It should have been penalised as dangerous play. Despite the ban on the intentionally raised hit having been introduced because of the prevalence at the time of the near pitch length chip or chip hit, participants now seem to be unaware, despite a very clear Rule 9.9, that intentionally raising the ball with any type of hit is, unless the player is taking a shot at the goal, an illegal action. The ban is too severe, a reason that umpires do not apply the rule, but that is beside the point. The following 3 edge hit high clearances should each have been penalised with the award of a penalty corner. We've come full circle. These last 2 intentionally raised hits were raised within 3 metres of an opponent, and there was an element of danger to both of them. In the following play, the free hit should have been awarded for the intentionally raised hit, not for the play that resulted from it, and the free should have been taken from the place the ball was raised. Misplacing the ball disadvantaged the team it was awarded to. Too often we see intentionally raised hits and scoops which are made in a way that leads to dangerous play being penalised where the ball is landing and not where the original scoop or raised hit was made. I propose that the total ban on raising the ball with any hit stroke be abolished, but that the absolute height limit already mentioned be used to prevent the making of long, high hits, which can be replaced in any case with safer and more accurate scoop strokes. Although, as we have seen, a scoop used by an idiot is not much safer. A ball propelled at another player with any stroke from beyond 5 meters would be subject to a more limited height criteria, sternum height. I know that many people do not like to do a lot of reading when watching a video, which is why I made a voiceover of this one. I regret I am not very good at reading aloud from a script because I was affected with Bell's palsy some years ago, and some word articulation is still a little difficult for me. But I hope you found the video clear and useful.